everybody, from Pápa TV, this is Amanda Blackstone welcoming you to another edition of this week's English News. On Saturday and Sunday, the opening hours of the cemetery in El Salvadoros, Pápa were lengthened until 11 p.m. due to the All Saints holiday. During this time, the Mequikeft, which operates the cemetery, hired special guards who provide security and gave directions to the visitors if needed. Before the holiday, the number of visitors for the cemeteries increases. People weeded the grave sites, put flowers, and laid wreaths on the graves. It is said that more waste is produced during this time than the rest of the year, so the workers at the Mequikeft take care of the cleanliness of the cemetery more carefully. They collect the rubbish selectively and rake the fallen leaves. In regard to the large amount of visitors, extra parking spaces were in need, so people were asked not to park their vehicles inside the cemetery only if it's extremely necessary. This Monday, the opening hours will remain the regular hours as before. The graveyard will be open until 9 p.m. On the last week of Monday, the Gypsy Council of Pápa was established. This council has 3 members. Marcos Robertine was voted to be the president, and all 3 members took an oath. The general meeting in the county of Veszprém has been formed. Polgárdi Imre has become the city's president. The forming session took place in Veszprém. The general meeting has 17 members, and 10 of them received their mandate as a member of the FIDESD KDMP. Jobbik and MSZP have 3 members each, and 1 member is from the Democratic Coalition. They will work for our country in the coming 5 years. Polgárdi Imre said his aim is working together in the general meeting. One of their tasks will be the regional development, which includes 40 project plans. People could hear about these plans and developments during the autumn at several forums. The financial background will depend on the county general meeting. An event called Solidarity Hour is held each year at the end of October by the Care Center of United Social Institution. With this World Day event, they would like to draw attention towards the homeless. Solidarity Hour took place on the 29th of October in the homeless hostel, so that the deepening poverty and the lack of prospect does not generate any more homeless lives. Those in need have to be helped, said the center's leader. Luckily, in Pápa, they are not alone in this work. Olá Marta, the council, the civil service organization, leaders of the church, and several volunteers stand beside us, making for certain that nobody in this town dies freezing to death, and find a place for them to sleep, at least during the winter time. In Solidarity Hour, a homeless poet's work was read out loud. The homeless then read out poetry themselves. The number of homeless people is around 30 in Pápa. At this moment, 21 of them are already being taken care of. During the winter, 6 more beds are to be added. These so-called crisis beds are already available. Olá Marta said we can give extra beds to those who are threatened by freezing to death. In the event, they are also remembering the ones who have recently passed away with lampions and candles. This year's NATO Industry Forum in Split, Croatia on 13 November will provide the first major opportunity for NATO and the defense industry representatives to discuss security needs and priorities since the NATO summit reaffirmed the importance of a strong, cooperative defense industry across the alliance in September. The event's goal for NATO and its member nations is to help make them become more informed customers. For industry, the event will provide an insight into NATO priorities, enabling the industry to make strategic investments necessary to provide future NATO capabilities. This will help create greater interoperability, faster deployability, easier sustainability, and increased affordability. Recent events in Ukraine, the Middle East, and North Africa have put readiness at the top of NATO priorities. A specific focus this year will be on better education, training and exercises for NATO and allied forces, equipping them for any challenge. Innovation in all strands of capability development helps create affordable NATO solutions. The NATO Industry Forum is the primary venue for strategic dialogue with industry, national administrations, academia, and think tanks on NATO capabilities planning and development. It is sponsored by NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg and co-organized by Supreme Allied Commander Transformation General Jean-Paul Palmeros and Assistant Secretary General for Defense Investment Patrick Alroy. Thank you for being with us watching the Pápa News in English. This is Amanda Blackstone. We hope to see you next week.